will drift away until the day the world stops spinning. Stay with me where the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning, 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 until the day the world stops spinning.
They're looking at us, an audience, keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this, yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they all say. They think we're out of control. Yeah, truth be told, we know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. We love the thrill. They're looking at us, an audience, keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this, yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they all say. They think we're out of control. Yeah, truth be told, we know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. It's just the way we live. We know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. We're grown-up kids.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call it shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I'm savage, you've been distracted, your best my average. There's a reason for that's a fact, so they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan. I ain't need that, outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Every day I wonder when I'm gonna peak at, and that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. opportunities, gather the energy. Pull yourself back together. Been staying off track forever. Child of the nation, will seek redemption. Time for salvation. Today is meant to be day of victory. Time for history. Reverse the tendency, fight the entropy, channel your rivalry. You're praying for fortune to come. You're hearing the sound of the drums. It's too late to backtrack, but pack your bag now. Keep your feet on the road and stand up. You've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Go save your team, be a hero. Take home the cup, be a star. They're waiting for you, take aim, shoot your arrow. It's your time to shine, show them who you are.
Hello and welcome. We are getting ourselves into a bit of Asian CS today. I am Dan Chan. Joining me is Jeet. How are you doing?
Doing all good, man. I think it's going to be a good day today. We've got Bren eSports versus ZIGMA starting off strong in this best of 3. A little bit later on, we got Linvision. Oh, let me just check my cheat sheet here.
Wings Up versus Linvision, I believe it is.
Yeah, you're right. Wings Up versus Linvision coming up a little bit later on. But first, as I said, Bren eSports versus ZIGMA. Nuke, first map chosen by ZIGMA. Second will be trained by Bren. Third and final, if we need that. I don't think we will, but it's going to be Inferno. Let's see how this one pans out.
Certainly, and Brent on the CT side. It's PP Overdose, a quick opener in towards that A site, but Papichulo and Wits, they're going to be fighting back with a strong style. A few kills coming through for the Bren side. Leave it just up to reality and Just Cause to try and pull something out of this round. Try and get that bomb down towards the B site, but Just Cause is creating a lot of havoc. And actually, they're just going to push together and clear out that ramp room, and that could mean a route towards the A bomb site. But Papichulo, he's wise to that. He's wise. He's got a bit of a brain under his skull. As they push forward in towards the site, Papichulo is trying to find the shots, but down to 2 points of health. Not really. Does pick up the first, dancing around the site. These two players going to try and find each other, but the HP is favouring Pro. And can Just Cause get a quick shot? Yes, he can. With the Glock, he'll close it out. And ZIGMA, a bit of a run around the rosies that round, but they do get it done.
A very interesting round there, because we saw ZIGMA get the opening frag towards the A bomb site. Then a couple of players trying to make it down towards the B bomb site instead. Eventually, they ended up planting on A. So yeah, definitely ring around the rosy for them. Eventually, ZIGMA do manage to pull it off, but it looked like Bren had the upper hand for the most part in that round, actually. Let's see how they decide to go with this one. Oh, this needs to be careful here. Oh, that's a sick shot.
Certainly is. He will be dealt with swiftly though by Just Cause, so I mean, just a little bit of a teaser of maybe what's to come from this Bren side. As I feel like they are going to be the favourites to take this game, Bren, over ZIGMA.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah. And Derek, or Secret, trying to find shots with the CZ. He's put player down low, but he is also very low on HP now, and we'll need to be careful as Niffy. They'll post it up just on the other side of the smoke. Micro's D will kind of find a bit of damage as well. These Bren players are just chipping away ZIGMA and all of their HP, but Papichulo again, he can't find a kill. He puts Rolex down to 11. Look at the HP for Bren, there's just none of it. Oh, sorry, for ZIGMA, there's none of it. And that nade from Rolex, it almost catches his teammates on the site. As he tries to launch it towards heaven. Bounces off the lip, and mean, it does tag down Niffy a little bit. Luckily, he was the high HP player, or the higher HP for ZIGMA on this side. But Bren, maybe they can find a couple shots there. There goes one and a second. They're finding the kills. Just Cause eventually fights back, but it's a 2-on-2. And he's going to have to find more than just one. And there's a second coming through as his teammate will fall. It's Wits 1v1 trying to find this player underneath him. Oh! No!
No! What
Why?
happened?
Why?
That's one of the sickest no-scope flicks with the scout I've ever seen.
And he's ruined it. He ruins it with the drop. No.
That's such an awkward end to the round, though. As you pointed out, ZIGMA, all of their players were in the red. And Bren, they had one player who was somewhat healthy, but then he took a bit of damage towards the end of it. And, oh, such a weird round, man. But if that's like an indicator of what we have or what we have in store for this game, this is going to be an exciting one.
Yes. I can't believe what just happened. Is ZIGMA, they're making much lighter work of this round. There's a couple kills found. Pro have to pick himself up. A couple kills, but it is a pretty clean sweep from ZIGMA. 3 players staying alive, much cleaner than that previous round, and now Bren will have themselves that full buy. But a pause to come through first.
Yeah, a much cleaner round this time around for ZIGMA. Makes sense. Bren decided to go for a bit of a weaker buy to allow them to fully invest into this one. We'll have all the M4s, an AWP. They have a fairly strong buy here. Quite a bit stronger than what we see on the ZIGMA side of it. This time, this round at least, should or will favor Bren Esports. Question is whether or not it's actually going to go their way. Initially, a couple of smoke towards the outside from ZIGMA, the default smoke for the smoke wall. And then opening up the squeaky door with a nade, smoking out, or trying to smoke out Mini, but actually failing that. Reality finds one, but it's Papichulo with a nice little double. Actually, he burns. Oh, so much damage dealt to him with that molly.
It's going to be up to Micro towards Ramp to try and hold them back. Does have Wits rotating him, but he's going to get caught out. Not for the first shot. He'll stand in the Molotov to find more, but he's going to burn. Overdose will burn him down. It is going to be Brent who claimed the round. I mean, maybe losing an extra play than would have liked, but it is still a round on the board for Brent.
Yeah, Wits maybe overstepping his boundaries there a little bit, deciding to linger in the fire and the flames. Not necessarily the smartest idea, but at the same time, he wanted to make sure that he helped out his teammate down on the ramp area to give them a better chance of securing the round. And eventually, they do end up securing the round. As you said, maybe losing a player more than they would have liked. But all the same, the round goes in the favor of Bren Esports and ZIGMA. They're now going to be on an eco for this one. Just 2 Desert Eagles in play.
And ZIGMA, as you say, that they don't really have economy here, and obviously they lost a lot of players in that second round, losing all 5, even though he still won out the round thanks to a bit of a misstep, as he dropped off heaven with the scout, you could say. But we'll be hoping to inflict a bit of damage here towards the Bren's side, as Wits' Molotov will finish off the damage that Micro picked up, and the kills coming through for Bren should be pretty clean. Just a Deagle, couple Glocks remaining on that ZIGMA side, and Petula and Pro towards his A site should have no issues closing this one down as they pick up the kills. It is all clean and dandy. No damage done at all towards Bren there, so very, very clean. Exactly what you want to see on the CT side.
Yeah, exactly as you pointed out, when you're up against an eco, you want to make sure that you don't lose any players unnecessarily. That's exactly what Bren Esports do for this one. Playing it safe as possible and making sure that they just take care of the opposition without taking too much damage, without giving them much of a chance of fighting back. That's awkward.
Oh no. It's
3-2. Go ahead, sorry.
It's just a nade at the back of a teammate. Luckily, it doesn't do much damage, but it's not what you want to see. ZIGMA, they are going to get themselves closer towards this B site. Even trades. Wits with the AWP clears out one from ramp. And ZIGMA, they're not going to commit towards a B site just yet. They might go back up the secret stairs, in fact, and Bren, they have a player still up towards A. That is Pro. I think he's over by Squeaky. Might be able to catch them, but it depends whether he stays around there or whether he's going to head down towards that B site as well. What is ZIGMA doing? They're going to walk the way all the way through outside and back around to lobby. They've only got 40 seconds on the clock, so they can't shift walk all the way there. And with Pro inside of Squeaky, he's going to have to be dealt with. ZIGMA, they're running out of time. They can't do this. There's only 30 seconds. I mean, I think they can get to the site. The only issue is that Pro is in that position and he's just going to be able to kill them. And I mean, Just Cause actually checks it. Okay, fair play. Maybe I'm wrong. As they will be able to get into the site. And it's actually perfectly timed. Papichulo and Wits. Last two alive for Bren. And I thought for sure Pro was going to be able to cut them down as they push forward. But with a 3-on-2, Bren need to find shots at Wits' head has been spotted out. Overdose will finish him off, leaving just Papichulo 1 versus 3, and I think he's just going to try and save that weapon now, but Niffy doesn't really want to let him. Papichulo will make sure that he's at least gotten that first kill to try and get out, but from behind, Just Cause. He's been on the lurk, and ZIGMA, they'll find a fourth to Bren tying things up.
Kind of an interesting round here for ZIGMA. As you pointed out, initially going for that smoke wall towards the outside is something that we see time and time again, more or less every single round, honestly. You don't want to throw the smoke wall only when you decide to go down towards secret. You want to throw it like a bunch of different times, even when you're going towards the A-bomb site, to make it tough for the opposition to guess exactly what you're doing for that round. This time around, ZIGMA did something that I had trouble guessing. They decided to push down towards secret and then fall all the way back. Yeah, as I said, very important for them to find that kill in towards Squeaky. If they didn't check that, that would have been the round for sure.
Opening kill has gone the way of Bren. Wits on that AWP. He's looking pretty sharp so far this game. He's got a 4 guys picture. He's trying to give ZIGMA the old ultimate knockout. So far he's doing pretty decently. I mean, you can't complain. Can ZIGMA pick themselves up in this round, because they've still got the 4 AKs. They've got a little bit of utility that's going to be dispatched towards outside smoke wall to form. Need from Wits. Does an ever so slight bit of damage towards Reality Jesus. Rolex tries to clear out the ramp, but it actually is Nifu who finds the kill there. Take down Micro, and as they push forwards, that's a nice shot from Just Cause. Pro was hiding behind the silo, trying to find the shots. He gets a bit of damage through, but it's still a 3-on-3 as the bomb will get planted. ZIGMA, they can lock this one down. Derek with just 6 points of health, in fact, has the AWP in his hands. Wits will wield the M4 instead with the higher HP. I mean, damage done towards ZIGMA as well. Rolex on 27, and with Just Cause falling, makes life very difficult, especially with Papichulo on the flank. Niffy, he just didn't pay any regard to the flank, and now 27 HP for Rolex, and it's quickly dispatched off by Papichulo. Great round from Bren. Was opened up by Wits, and they do have the defuse. Good work. 3rd on the board.
And already we see like a trend here where Bren Esports, they're very quick in their reactions every single round. We see Papichulo there. The second you see the doors open down towards like the double doors on the B bomb side, he quickly snaps his aim over there and fires off a couple of shots and lands them. So it's I think we're gonna see more of that like coming through. It's something that I've noticed from Bren Esports over the years of doing qualifiers. I typically see them in qualifiers pretty much every single time, actually. And as I pointed out, it's something that you're gonna notice throughout this game as well. You're gonna have some of these players just very, very quick on their reactions, and honestly, it's a joy to watch. It's one of those things where when you're watching one of these qualifiers, especially like open qualifiers, where you typically have like a lot of I don't want to say bad teams, but unknown teams at the very least, right?
Yeah.
And even just mixes of friends just having a bit of fun. Every once in a while, you'll see someone with not the greatest reactions, and that's fine. I mean, there's room for everyone in these open qualifiers. That's the fun of it. But to see someone like Bren Esports and especially Papichulo be so quick on his reactions time and time again, it's honestly a joy to watch.
Yeah, certainly. There's a lot of mechanical skill on the server. And we've already seen, yeah, as you say, we're already seeing a lot of that already. And especially like that scout shot earlier as well. That was just insane. Because the score is tied up 4-4. ZIGMA have been afforded a lot of control towards the yard. They're working their way through the garage, and Bren, I'm not sure if they realise just how far ZIGMA have pushed. As now it's going to have a little bit of a peek. Speaking, we'll actually deal with Rolex, so that's a nice opening kill to find. However, look at this flank from ZIGMA. It's starting to come to fruition, but they line up for Pro. I think one of them was blocking the second player from being able to see that angle as they were trying to clear CT, and that's the bomb down. Papichulo was just around the corner. Just Cause has been able to get himself up towards heaven and tap away the head of Derek. But a 2v4 still isn't going to be too plausible as Just Cause drops down. It's into the crosshairs of Papichulo. And now it's just PP overdose. Needs an overdose of his own to try and clutch this one out. There's a nice opening. It's on to Wits, who was trying to push aggressive with the AWP towards Hut, and actually just gives over the AWP towards Overdose, who is just going to go and save that towards T-Spawn. 5 seconds on the clock, and he won't have any issues with that.
Yeah, Overdose this time around will be able to hold on to the AWP, but it is going to be the 5th round on the board here for Bren Esports. So Bren Esports, I don't know if I necessarily need to say finally, but they do manage to take the lead at this point, and that is sort of what we expected for this one. Dan and I had a bit of a chat before we went live with the game, speaking about our sort of internal predictions for this game, and we both agreed that Bren Esports should have a decently easy time with this one. And Nuke was definitely one of the maps that we weren't entirely sure on, but we both agreed that Bren Esports should be able to take a victory here. Whether it was 2-1 or 2-0 wasn't entirely like apparent, I suppose.
Yeah, especially as this is ZIGMA's map pick, in fact. Ooh! Reality? Calm down as he finds a couple kills with that salvaged AWP. Just the pistols around him. Niffy's been able to upgrade to an AK as well. I mean, 2 on 3 still should be Bren's round to pick up. As they're trying to creep their way down towards this B site and to play with about the double doors. That is Papichulo. Just making sure nobody's going to push through the control room window. Reality users will get himself in towards the site. We'll get the bomb planted. Papichulo's going to have a little bit of a look in from control. Can't find the players in reality. A bit of issue opening the door there. We'll get it done second time. He looks not sure in where he wants to position himself. He will also side on dark with his teammate over towards ramp. It's a decent setup. The bomb is planted open for them, so they're able to ensure that Bren aren't going to be able to just stick it. This flashbang from Pro, that is a lovely little flashbang to pop out. Gives a bit of space for the team, and with the nade going in towards Reality Jesus' position, Derek will take him down, and Niffy spotted out. Niffy taken down. Great retake from Bren. And they do have the defuse, I believe. Although it is a 10-second inside of the smoke.
Oh.
Whew.
It got a bit scary there.
Yeah, As I said, the will court get the defuse. I thought, you know what, this isn't a 5-second defuse, is it?
But yeah, I love this retake here from Bren. So something that you'll see again. I'm speaking a lot about these open qualifiers because we do have experience covering these open qualifiers. But what we tend to see in open qualifiers with teams not of Bren sports caliber is that they tend to like go a bit too quick on the retakes. Bren Esports, they're waiting for every single player to be in, leaving nothing up to chance here and making it. Oh my god, he's just toying with his head. What is going on? It's like one of those bouncy balls in the gym, you know?
Yeah,
what's happening?
Just rocking back and forth as bullets come through the wall into his noggin.
That looked so animated, man. That was so fun.
Yeah, I mean, how much damage was it actually doing per shot through that wall? Because, I mean, I know...
Not a lot.
I know you can spam it with stuff like AWPs and stuff, especially in towards lobby, but I never thought the rifles would do all too much. And I mean, he's left on 1 HP.
Oh,
never mind. He's left on no HP. It's Derek's nade. Puts him perfectly timed. ZIGMA going to try in a 3-on-5 now to get the way in towards that B site, but Wits will need to have his wits about him here as he's in towards that dark position with an AWP in hand. Not the easiest place for that up. You prefer to be over at the ramp perhaps, but he is committed, that's for sure. For 20 seconds, ZIGMA, they need to get this bomb in, but Wits, he'll find a double. How's he done that? They line up for him at decon and definitely does have his wits about him for that one.
What a round, man.
This is the stuff you don't see from other forms of Counter-Strike, is it?
See, this is why I love doing qualifiers. Obviously, I love covering Counter-Strike in general, but qualifiers are just a little bit like you never know what to expect from a qualifier, and I find that very enticing, honestly, because at bigger events you'll always have like a pretty good idea of who will take the victory in a match. You always have a pretty good idea of who will go through, at least like a top 3 of the event, right? But in qualifiers, you can never be certain, especially in single elimination. Yeah. Like we saw, I was doing the Oceanic qualifier yesterday, the open qualifier, the start of that one, and we saw a couple of upsets during that qualifier. So it just goes to show you never really know what to expect in these games, and even like on each map, like you'll see crazy stuff from time to time. You'll see, like we saw Bren Esports with the scout there, Vitz hitting a gnarly flick earlier in this game. We've seen what we saw in that round, just toying with the head of an enemy through a couple of walls. I mean, it's so interesting to watch, honestly, and it's one of those things that keep you fresh and keep you young, if you will. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
certainly.
a fan, man.
It's sort of interesting because obviously at the top level everything's very sort of drilled, organised. Much of the same between a lot of the teams. Whereas when you're in these sort of qualifiers, at this sort of level, players have like their own little tendencies and little gimmicks and little things that sort of make it unique and give the game almost its own personality, which is just awesome. As we did just have a short little pause there while one of the Sigma players reconnected to the server, which is why we were having a bit of a little chit chat, a bit of a chinwag. But we are back into things, and it's 5 deagles only for ZIGMA, so it should be a pretty simple round for Bren as they explore a few different avenues in this one. But right now, all of them are leading to death. It's just Niffy and Reality left. Bomb in lobby. It hasn't been found by Brent as of yet, as Niffy will have a little bit of a look towards outside. But, the Shadow will give him up. Reality now. Last player in the round for ZIGMA is he has the bomb. I mean, that's one good thing going for him. He has a bit of armor, he has the deagle, could maybe find a kill, but Papichulo will spot out his legs in a moment here and spray him down. clean from it, Bren. CT side looking good.
Yeah, it was a little bit dicey early on. ZIGMA had a pretty good... Well, they picked up the pistol and the following two, and a pretty strong start for ZIGMA. But it's been all Bren ever since. Bren Esports, they've taken the mantle at this point, and they've just run with it. So it's good to see Bren Esports on the on the level that we expected them to be. And as I pointed out, we expected them to... that's interesting. We expected them to take a victory in this one, and we also thought that they had a pretty good chance here on Nuke, but ZIGMA is not a bad team at all, so we weren't entirely sure on Nuke for this one, but it's looking good for Bren Esports at this point.
Certainly is, with the opening going their way. If only for a moment, because Reality and Just Cause, they're just going to be absolutely nailing their way in towards the site, and Brent, well... It was looking good to start with, but ZIGMA have just completely cleared out that A site. It's now a 4-on-1 with micro-loss players surviving for Bren. And not really much will in the world to go for this. A couple of players are low. Reality Jesus, one of them. But, well, it doesn't matter if you're not going to be able to spot him. As he shoots him in the side of the head, Micro will get taken down, and it will be finally another round for ZIGMA. Get it done. It's a very, very explosive hit towards that A site. They just sort of go guns blazing in, and it works out.
ZIGMA do manage to answer back, as you pointed out. Good on them. That's exactly what they need. They want to try and see if they can get... I mean, 6 rounds would not be a bad beat here for ZIGMA. 6 rounds on the board would be pretty good for them, honestly. But obviously they're trying to farm out as many rounds as possible, and 7 is not out of the question either.
Certainly not. I mean, Bren, they have quite a bit of cash, so they'll be able to buy at least one more round. Depending on what guns they save, maybe more than that. However, more than that isn't really needed. You only need one more round of buys, so... They'll be feeling pretty good, I think. And obviously, as I mentioned, this is ZIGMA's map pick. This one was off from Derek would be very nice just to hold them back for a little bit longer, work a bit more time off the clock as they're trying to push their way further through Secret. 5 AKs. Ready and raring to get going, with Rolex still up towards the yard, just making sure nobody's going to follow them down. Little bits of damage being done either way, but it's really Bren who are taking a lot of damage. Both Pro and Wits down to 50 as ZIGMA going to hightail their way towards the A site, and with a quick shot on towards Papichulo, they give themselves the A bomb site. Rolex and Reality Jesus, they're just going to carve their way through the site. Brent, they can't find anything, and it's just Pro who's left alive, a 1v5 and 12 points of HP. ZIGMA, what has gotten into them? Have they just suddenly had a bit of had their Weetabix? And it's only just kicked in?
Stop it, that's a UK reference, man. We don't have that anywhere else.
What's more universal than, have they?
Cheerios.
Cheerios. Fair enough.
Or like oatmeal, I think.
Porridge.
Oatmeal is not porridge. That's a UK thing as well, man. Porridge
is damn good though.
It's horrible.
Oh, nah, get yourself some plain porridge, bit of Nutella and a bit of honey.
Stop it. Anything like any food-related item that comes from the UK is horrible. I'm sorry to say. This is why fish and chips is all right, but it's just dunking everything in like a deep fryer, man. It's American basically.
Nah,
regardless,
it's battered.
Great round from ZIGMA. Yeah, I mean they do that as well.
As you say, regardless, it is.
This became a food show all of a sudden.
Wits is trying to turn it back into an AWP shooting range as he does pick off one. Just cause low on HP as well. Will get finished off. So, Bren, they have themselves a 4-on-2 and they're going to try and push back in towards the B site. Quick kill towards Overdose helps facilitate that. It's his only Rolex left alive. A 1v3. That nade is going to finish him off, I believe. Yes, it will. towards A.
Yeah, good on Sigma to find a couple of rounds towards the end of this first half, but Bren do manage to pull through at the very last round of the first half here. 9 is all right for Bren, all things considered, especially seeing as Sigma managed to pick up the pistol, and they managed to find 2 rounds, string 2 rounds together here at the last seconds of the first half. So Bren Esports at least finding the 9th, but Sigma, I think they can be happy with 6 here, honestly. Not bad at all for them.
Yeah, certainly is switching over towards that CT side. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life. And are they feeling fine? We'll have to find out. Oh dear. That's my one song reference for the day, I guess. Or the series, perhaps. I won't promise the entire day, not yet.
I think that was a pretty big promise as well.
Yeah. We are just waiting for the players to get themselves ready up and get ourselves into the second half. As we said, it is going to be Bren now on that T side and ZIGMA towards the CT, the defense. I think for ZIGMA, if they can get a cheeky pistol round here, obviously that'll help out massively because actually ZIGMA they picked up the pistol round in the first half as well. Which actually, looking at it, makes it a little bit more of a worrisome half that they had. Because they got themselves the 3-0 start. Only 3 gun rounds found off the back of that. But, obviously, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point how you found those rounds. It's a matter about just having those rounds. And obviously with the CT side now, if they're able to work with 6, it's certainly the opportunities for them.
Yeah, as you pointed out, it matters to get the rounds on the board, and especially now as we're heading into the second half, it doesn't really matter what happened in the first half at this point, because obviously the economy has been reset, and thus should your mentality as well. So at this point, it's all about finding these shots. Papi Chulo. I said it already. His reaction is phenomenal.
Yeah,
he's so quick on the trigger, and it's honestly a joy to watch.
A bit of utility going in towards the A side as well. It's forced Rolex off the hook, but he's been able to find a couple of kills either way from this new position he's been able to acquire by the vents. There's a third and a fourth. What's he doing? That's not reasonable. It's all up to Micro, and reality will close things down. It won't be the ace for Rolex, but well, it doesn't matter how you get the rounds, but you've been able to pick one up there, ZIGMA. The Rolex. Maybe it would have been better for Bren if they'd let him just sit on top of the hut.
ZIGMA somehow managing to pull through once again.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. We knew that ZIGMA is not a bad team. Like, some of these players have been in the game for a bit, and they've actually done pretty well in their region. I'll get back to that in a little bit here, but yeah, ZIGMA, they're fighting with everything they got and fighting with every single round, and managed to find a couple of rounds here and there, and at least make this quite interesting.
Yeah, should be able to inch a bit closer. Any guns out, sun's out. Oh, well, other way around, but the guns are certainly out. As they're starting just to pick up the frags. Nice 3K fort just caused that. I like how we actually got off the spray for a moment just to readjust his aim for each player that peaked him, you know. Good to see. It obviously helps out with the MP9 because it doesn't have the most ammo in the world in each mag. It allows him to get all 3 of them pretty quickly. As it is just Wits left alone, a 1 versus 4. 1 versus 5 rather. And his Rolex shutting him down to end it off. ZIGMA on 8. And Bren, he should go for a full buy here.
Yeah, Bren doing the smart thing, deciding to go for a bit of a, well, pretty much a full eco in that previous round, and that allows him to get enough money for the AKs. do have Micro going for the Galil in this one. That just allows them to get a bit of extra utility. Actually, 5 smokes initially for this one, so pretty good utility here for Bren Esports. They don't have a ton of flashes, don't have a ton of HEs or mollies or anything like that, but at least they have a good amount of smokes to help them get that coverage so they can figure out exactly what they want to do. Quite interesting to see them actually just throwing down the bomb close to spawn.
Ooh. Nice double from Wits. And he's able to elude Niffy as well, and as Just Cause tries to push through Radio, ZIGMA being apart one by one in this round, which maybe isn't surprising given the weaponry that ZIGMA have, but with only Reality alive, a 1 versus 5. A couple of players low he might be able to pick up, but he's down in the vents, and Bren should be able to close out this round, as long as they don't forget to plant the bomb, as it currently sits behind the silo, which someone's going to have to go back and collect. Micro is going to collect that, just making sure that there's no players who have got themselves into an awkward position for them to deal with. It is just, as I say, Reality in vent. And Brentley will get the bomb in towards the site, as I think Reality maybe just goes for the save here.
That would definitely be the smart idea, especially considering that we don't have like a ton of money for ZIGMA, so holding on to this weapon could potentially allow them for a... They probably shouldn't go for a force buy in the next round, even if they manage to hold on to this weapon, but they're going to be in that weird scenario, what I typically like to call no man's land, where you're right in between, like, having enough money to go for a solid force buy, or having to eco because you don't have the money. It's right in between, and that makes it a little bit awkward here for ZIGMA. Let's see what they go for. Reality is just gonna back away, secure that he holds on to the weapon. So yeah, this is exactly what I talked about. 3,000 on 3 players. They can't really justify going for a force buy here, especially when Bren are quote-unquote only hitting double digits now. Like, Bren are not that far ahead of ZIGMA, and because of that, there's not that massive reason for them to go for the force buy. Makes good sense for them just to hold on to these weapons, or this M4, and then try and see if they can deal some damage in a round like this.
Yeah, certainly. It's only 2 rounds between them right now, and it will probably be just 3 when ZIGMA will next get the buy up in the next. So, I mean, certainly on the CT side, you can overcome that pretty quickly. It's not a massive deficit, as you do say. So, well, Reality is not going to look too fondly on that Molotov. Hopefully it won't matter too much in the grand scheme of things. As I mean, nobody's pushed off the back of that from the Bren side. It's not actually held back anybody, so it won't matter too much. However, it's just a bit of a wasted utility, I would say, as these pistols are playing very, very passive from the ZIGMA side. They've not looked for any openings into the round, and now Rolex, as they push in towards the A site, does pick up one as he tries to barrel his way through the smoke, and now it's Reality on the site that's going to provide the next line of defense, and can he get free? Only the 2. I mean, I say only, it's a lot of damage done. 3 kills so far in the round for ZIGMA, as it's only 2 alive, and this is a very risky plant. If Micro goes for it, he's going to get caught out by Overdose, who now only needs to find Papi Chulo. 2 points of health separating Bren from defeat here, and he's going to push forward to take him down, and ZIGMA, they'll win out the round.
That's so insane. Not only do they manage to win out the round, like, the amount of investment into that round was barely there. It's such a good round for ZIGMA. It was Just Cause who dropped a couple of pistols for the rest of his teammates, allowing everyone to hold on to as much money as possible, so they would still be able to buy up in this round, even if they lost that one. And somehow, with like a miracle, they managed to secure the round. PP Overdose, good patience on that last peak as well, just patient waiting for his opponent to, well, for the time to run low, and his opponent being in a bit of a pickle there, had to run back towards the bomb site. And he catches him brilliantly. ZIGMA, they're not down and out of this one just yet. Bren Esports still have a fight ahead of them.
I'm surprised Bren went for the plant on the very exposed side of the A site, especially because the teammate, Papachula, wasn't actually covering all that much from the CT vent. It would have been better to have the plant on the other side and just watch heaven, but as Bren try and barrel the way in towards the ramp room, they do go 1 for 1. Just Cause can only manage 1 before he's taken down. Bren, they do have themselves the AKs here, so there is plenty of opportunity to try and fight back and keep ZIGMA on 9 for the time being. Try and push forward. Player over by double doors. Will get taken down by Derek. A second kill for him in the round as he gets to 3rd as well. Overdose can't clean him out, and it's a pretty much done deal now. 4 on 2. Niffy and Reality just going to save their weapons. With the bomb ticking down, there isn't really an avenue back into the site.
Yeah, I was just about to say it was going to be difficult here for ZIGMA, but impossible at this point, because obviously, as you pointed out, they just fall back. And again, it makes good sense for them, because they do have Overdose with a good amount of money, so he'll be able to buy up for himself. He should... Yeah, this is... It's a bit awkward once again, because Rolex is very low on money. Just Cause could probably go for like an SMG, maybe a heavy, like a shotgun or something like that.
Yeah.
I think this is a timeout from ZIGMA, just to figure out exactly what they want to do in this round.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, Niffy and Reality, they've got weapons, but they're only 1,400. They're not going to be able to buy up in the next round if they eco. Unless they, of course, save weapons as well, which is a bit of a gamble. Obviously, nuke a bit. It's a little awkward in terms of positioning yourself, because obviously, most of the time, you can say, okay, let's gamble on the A site, and if they go B, we'll just save on A. That sort of thing. It's a bit more difficult on nuke, that.
Yeah.
So, they actually go for the full force buy around these 2 saved weapons. Again, extra M4, a couple SMGs. So they hope to find double digits for themselves here.
Yeah, not a bad decision from them. Makes pretty good sense here, especially considering that they won the previous eco. But look at this from Overdose. That's so good. Yeah. Overdose just rushing down in vents. He knows that when that smoke lands, there's a real good chance of someone trying to sneak down in vents, and he just rushes right behind him. Papichulo had no idea. No clue whatsoever.
Yeah, great opening, and he's been able to upgrade as well off that UMP to a Galil, which is obviously not an AK, but it's a little bit better, and he's trying to do a bit of damage with it from the secret stairs as Bren try and push towards the yard. Full smokes to give him a bit of cover. They do start to fade, and Overdose will pull back himself. Knows he doesn't need to stick around there. He's shown presence, and that's enough to at least hold Bren back a little bit, halt their advance for the moment. ZIGMA, very nice. Got crossfire setup as well. PP Overdose will show his face once again. And that's the bomb drop. Bren gonna fall victim to the force buy as it's only Micro left alive, which as he tries to work his way up to heaven. He's half HP already due to a nade and Just Cause's SMG. We'll finish that off, even gets an upgrade to an AK as well. So they come out of that round with 3 AKs, a Galil and an AWP, as well as a round. That's
ridiculous. ZIGMA, they're doing it time and time again. first they did it in a complete eco. This time around, they had a bit of a discussion before going into the round. Should we go for another min buy and just hope for the best, or should we actually fully invest into the round, going for that force buy, try and see if we can do what we did in the eco round and surprise Bren a little bit. They go for the latter, and it works out perfectly for them. So back and forth it goes, and it certainly shows at this point that this round, or this map, excuse me, has been chosen by ZIGMA. They know what they're doing on this one.
Yeah, certainly on the CT side as well. It is a more favoured side generally, I believe. It is shifting more and more towards T. But at least at the very top, especially, a lot of teams very, very proficient on that T side and can pick up a lot of rounds. This thing sits just one round of difference between these two teams. Bren, they do have that slight lead, but in this round, they have the slight deficit, with Papachulo being caught early on towards outside again by PP Overdose. He only had a Tech 9 himself, Papachulo, so not the most exquisite of weaponry to go down. However, still a man disadvantage, and PP Overdose tries to go over the top. That was cognizant from Pro to be watching for that. Will save his teammate's life, as a couple of them take a lot of damage from that as well. They're going to try with this now, getting themselves in towards the B site. A little awkward for Micro, who's actually able to adjust himself in time and take down Just Cause. Reality from the dark position. Reality does bend to his will as he takes down a couple quick kills and brings things into a 2-on-2 as Rolex pushes forward. It will be his teammate Niffy, who actually deals with Wits, and that leaves just Pro, a 1 versus 2. Bomb planted in a very open position for Pro, but he's the fake defuse from ZIGMA. He's not going to bait Pro in just yet, and now he's going to come through the decon door. Can he find the kills? Oh, he gets the first and lines them up. Beautiful work from Pro with just 9 points of health. He'll give Bren a 12th and save them from a tie game once again.
Bit of a lucky star shining upon Bren esports in that scenario. Obviously, when they line up and you basically get a free double. That's more or less what happened here for Pro. They line up for him, holds down mouse 1, takes them both down, very low on HP, managed to get the job done. That's 12 on the board for Bren esports. ZIGMA, they're a bit of a min buy for this round, actually, mostly in eco. They don't really have any Kevlar behind them, no utility, anything like that. Do have some upgrade pistols here. We have seen in the past how much damage those upgrade pistols can actually deal. A bit interesting is we got 4 players sneaking through the lower bomb side and up by secret. That's a nice shot from Josh. Oh, let's make that a double.
What is going on?
That's brilliant, man.
Great shots from Just Cause, and a couple of weapons now salvaged for ZIGMA. You, Brent, have what it takes to pull this round out of the bag for themselves and secure 13 already. It's not looking too good as Papachulo. He will find 1 at least, and a couple actually coming through in the end. And Mac 10 finding long range shots as they do start to clear things out and give themselves that lead once more, and it's all up towards Rolex. The guns have been dropped, but as he pushes through the smoke, he takes down Papachulo and almost finds a second. Derek with the AK will just about win out the fight, but a lot of damage done towards Bren as they do find a 13th.
Man, this game is so close. Way closer than it looked like it was, what was it? 8-4, something like that at one point. 9-4 even? I think it was 8-4. Yeah, 8-4 for sure. And at that point, it looked like Bren eSport had the upper hand. It looked like they knew exactly what they needed to do. ZIGMA are still fighting back with everything they got, and they're still making every single round interesting, making this game in itself very dicey.
Nice trade towards Brant to open the round up for Bren, but Overdose almost catches Micro getting in towards the control room. Will spot him out, will do a little bit of damage, but a 4-on-4 still for this round, and Derek's just going to go for the plant. Micro's pushing them towards the double doors, ensuring that they're not going to be able to peek him as he does get that plant down. As it's still a 4-on-4. The bomb, though, ticking its way down. ZIGMA, they have to make an entry point, but Wits is not going to allow it. And Pro, a beautiful double as he gets them both towards the control room. And it is just Niffy. A 1 versus 3, and Bren, they're going to find 14. This game is slipping away from ZIGMA. They fought back a couple times in this half with these low econ rounds, but now it's Bren. They're just turning the heat up to 11.
As pointed out, ZIGMA, they're not a bad team in their region. So back in roughly a year ago, actually, they managed to secure themselves the victory at the AIS, regular season. They managed to get themselves a first at Next Invitational and SEA Fire Championship. So they know what they're doing. They're not a bad team at all. They have, just double check here. Yeah, $44,000 in total winnings. So again, not a bad team at all. They know what they're doing. They know how to play Counter-Strike. But Bren seems like they just have their number for this one. And Bren, they are playing a little bit sharper in this game.
Oh, you say that, but now, oh dear. ZIGMA, once again, they've been able to give themselves a little bit of an opening here, and a weapon collected that just causes, well, it's quickly dispatched off. And Bren, once again, start to just clean things out. But Niffy, was that auto pickup? Please tell me that wasn't an auto pickup for Niffy. As he's shooting with the P250, a gun shifts its way into his hands, and well, he's caught switching. As the second player fights him, and Bren, that is 15 on the board. But again, ZIGMA, they're doing so much damage in these rounds. Just 2 players surviving that one.
It's so unfortunate here for ZIGMA, because it seems like if luck was just shining on their side, like just a little bit every once in a while, this could have been so much different. Obviously, Bren eSports, we gotta give them credit for still in dicey situations being able to fight back with all they got and bring it back pretty much every single round when they're in the deficit. So, but ZIGMA, they're playing pretty good Counter-Strike for this one, especially when they're on limited buy. They're doing God's work at this point. Unfortunately, one more round in the favor of Bren eSports will close it down here on the map chosen by ZIGMA. And the second map in this best of 3 series, Train, chosen by Bren eSports. It's not going to be an easy shot for ZIGMA.
No. With the opening kill going Pro's way, is going to start to signal the beginning of the end here for this ZIGMA side in map 1. ZIGMA, they've been able to find openings quite a lot of the time and still not be able to close out rounds. This time they don't even have an opening. But we saw on the T side they're being very ferocious in late rounds when they need to be. We'll see if they can bring a bit of that spark here once again against this Bren eSports side, as they have a bit of a cheeky setup here. A player just watching from HUD in towards lobbing, a player in HUD watching towards the A side, towards Heaven. Might catch out Bren. And with Rolex trying to creep forward, he'll get taken down. He's going to be able to trade that one, but it's still the advantage for Bren as the kills come rolling through. Papichulo, one more. The bomb is going to get planted on the A site. Reality and Niffy, can they fight back to secure this one? Papichulo is watching towards Heaven, and Reality will be making his approach up towards that location with the AWP. His teammate Niffy's going to try and creep through secret, but the kills, they come through in sync, and it is going to be Bren taking the first map, 16-10. Great work from them.
Yeah, Bren securing that victory here against ZIGMA. That's going to help them out massively. We were a little bit in doubt here on Nuke whether ZIGMA would be able to take a sneak victory on this one. It's going to be a very, very big uphill struggle for ZIGMA on that second map, though. It's Train, good map for Bren. Let's see how that pans out.
Yeah, as you say, Train. We'll be back after a short break, and we'll be heading into that second map to see if ZIGMA can fight back.
Gotta get better, gotta work harder. It's fight or flight now, get up now. Go make the move, go for the goal, lead up the stadium, you know how it's done. Stand up, let's go at it. takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give holding on, show him how to make a miracle. And up, got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give holding on, show him how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out, out. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give holding on, show him how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give holding on, show him how to make a miracle. call my bluff for the last time. This ain't a song, it's a battle cry. No life. I see the clue between the strobe lights. I'm haunted, black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Used to want it bad, used to want it bad, but I can't taste it. I can't help it now, okay? Follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my plate, now I can't think. I said woke up, take a X, and now I'm feeling this is it. Want the money, want the rest. I do purse, not no cess. They say, Don, it's why you sad. I said, I just need to think. Red tape, got too close, I hate the city. Black face, show you everything you need till you fornicate it, you bad. Someone said it, you sad. I used to want it bad. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you too many times. Yeah. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you. I know it's in my head. Follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my
I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something.
Living in the clouds, and I'll take it. Yeah, reminding myself to just let go. Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out.
Hello, welcome back. Once again, we're back into the game with ZIGMA and Bren Esports, and again, I am Dan Chan, and again, Eat is alongside me. And a pretty good first map, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. We saw a lot of crazy stuff on that first map. Hoping that we get to see some of the same here on Train. But what we got to keep in mind is that this is the map choice of Bren Esports, and they already took that victory on the first map in this series. A real good chance for Bren Esports to run away with a victory here.
Certainly is. And we'll see them on the T side here to start out on Train. So ZIGMA, a chance for them to maybe get a few rounds under the belt, maybe get the momentum on their side on this defense. And if they can build a bit of economy, give them something to fall back on if Bren win the odd round or two, it's going to help them out massively before they switch over towards the T side. But obviously, does rely on being able to pick up a few rounds here. And with Nifty on a kit of smoke for him, Brent, they've got quite a bit of utility for themselves. Derek actually with a P250 as well. Going to be trying to go for some of those long-range engagements against the USPs. That's Bren. Employed a couple of smokes already. Still have a couple of flashbangs and a HE to utilize as Niffy, nice opening shot there, catches Micro and is looking for a little bit more as well. As this calls a rotation over, Rolex will swing out from Connect to find one of his own, and well, ZIGMA, they're just finding everything here. Pro has finally been able to get one for the T side, but it may be too little too late in this 2-on-4. He's looking for more. As Derek, with that P250 still out towards Ivy, trying to take the shot on towards Nifty, but right now it's the PP Overdose who's going aggressive, and another shot found for him. If he'll close it all out. ZIGMA, a very strong first round.
Very good accuracy on those pistols here from ZIGMA. Swinging out, catching headshots, pretty much all of them actually. Good start to the game here for ZIGMA. They managed to pick up the pistol on the first map as well. And now they're picking up the pistol here on their CT side this time around. Pretty good opportunity here for ZIGMA to get a good start to this game. But honestly, like, what we got to keep in mind here on Terrain is that it's typically considered a fairly heavy CT-sided map. So with that, it can be difficult to get rounds on the T side, but I don't think it's going to be that difficult for Bren Esports. I still believe that Bren Esports should be coming out on top, even for the first half.
I think ZIGMA can probably hold the lead. for this first half, maybe not. As Pro. Oh no! That is a quick double. And he's just completely obliterated 2 players from ZIGMA. They're going to have to try and answer back. Rolex will get 2 of his own with a FAMAS. Good spray control from him to ensure that. And they are mopping things up now as it's just Derek. But Bren. Very dangerous early on in this round. Block is all that remains, though, of this effort. And bomb in hand, he's trying to work the timer down as much as he can. Maybe try and spread out a couple of these ZIGMA players, maybe give him a bit of an easier fight to take against one player who may be able to dink down, maybe get a kill on, especially with 2 of these players half HP, but that's not going to happen. And Rolex gets himself the 4K. Good job.
Again, ZIGMA starting off strong here on this one, holding off in this round as well, not letting too many players die. Taking pretty good control of it, and that's exactly what we need to see them do. That being said, don't have like a ton of money left over, obviously. Oh, micro. Some nice early aggression coming through. Niffy taken down immediately. Deleted off the server. This micro just peeks out and shuts him down with a great little burst action. That's the opening frag going in the favor of Bren Esports now.
Yeah, obviously they brought out the guns, and it was micro with that pretty cheeky opening. However, Rolex looking to try and fight back, has dealt with a couple pushing out from that pop dog and given them a great chance. Reality, another one for him, and somehow he gets wits as well. Papichulo finished off through the smoke, and ZIGMA. That was huge. Very well done.
That's pretty ridiculous. If you blinked, you missed it. That was so quick. ZIGMA managing to shut down Bren Esports as Bren Esports tries for something. Most players. Derek a little bit more limited than that, but seeing as they are going to be on quite a big loss bonus if they lose this round, they don't need to hold on to exactly 2,000 on every player. Oh.
I was going to say maybe the kill rewards can help them out a bit more as well, as extra $300 there for Papichulo, as he does nail down Reality, a quick opening shot. And Bren, they're looking pretty good on Deagles. They're looking pretty good in terms of aim as Micro finds another kill towards Ivy. However, this one will be traded out by Niffy. Damage being done towards the Bren side to try and cut them back down to size, try and bring them back down to earth. But they still hold themselves in a man advantage, Bren. There's an M4 picked up as well for Derek. He has armor with that as well. He has Kevlar, so there's potential for him to really stick it to ZIGMA in this round and try and get quite a bit of damage through, as they've already found a couple kills. But with Papichulo caught trying to get in towards that B bomb side, it's caused rotations. But Rolex, he's not going to blink as he finds Derek on that flank. The bomb, however, has made its way in towards the A site. Will be able to get planted, and that is a huge win for Bren here, as they'll now be able to set themselves up to try and catch. So maybe an extra kill here. With ZIGMA trying to rotate their way in to get this defuse. Wits is pretty low, so he's not really going to be able to take the fight. Neither of them really are, as Pro will get himself down the ladder. He's right into the crosshairs of Niffy though, and Wits now, last player alive, will get dealt with efficiently. And Niffy, 4 kills for him in the round, cleans things up, gives ZIGMA a 4th, but again, damage done at the start by Bren, and a bomb plant to come through as well is very nice indeed.
ZIGMA, pretty good control early on here on their CT side. As pointed out, it is considered a CT-sided map. That being said, ZIGMA, they're not only getting helped by being on the favorite side here, and they're also hitting some gnarly shots, which helps them out massively. Now, double set up.
Oh.
That's a quick one. Reality shutting down Bits very early on.
Yeah, also doing damage towards Papichulo as well. That makes things a little less enjoyable for Bren here. It's already down a player, already down a lot of HP. EP overdose might just double them up as well. There's a sliver of the arm there around the corner. He will connect the shot, but I think it just clips the wall a little bit there, and Derek will survive on 6 points of health. Gonna be thanking his lucky stars that he's still alive. ZIGMA, they look pretty set for a 5th here. In a really comfortable position, in fact. Niffy's going to be standing guard on Ivy once again. They do decide to push 40 seconds on the clock. Utility getting lane down. Niffy's going to have to back away a little bit. Just get to safety and is able to find one before being traded out. Rolex's Molotov will burn down Derek, and that leaves just 2 alive for Bren, but they are still trying to fight back. 2v2 ensues, and Reality on the site, USP in hand. Can he find the kill towards Pro? No, we can't. Low HP, still able to find the shots. And it's a 1v2 now for Just Cause as this round swings back in favour of Bren, and they will pick it up. And that is the skill shining through for the Bren Esports side. Brilliant work from them to bail themselves out of a very, very tough spot.
That was so interesting for Pro as well, because he just witnessed his teammate die in a molly, and he had to sort of dance around a molly of his own, try and see if he could find that frag on the player pushing up towards player down towards Pop Dog. Good play there from Bren Esports, but again, ZIGMA, they're still fighting in every single round. They're still hitting some gnarly shots and making real good decisions here.
Certainly are. Bren now on the board. They don't have much cash to fall back onto if they're not able to pick up a follow-up here. Obviously, still got quite a bit of loss bonus on their side that they'll be able to wield forwards, and at least a few players will have enough to buy, that's for sure. Well, certainly the one out this round, but with Just Cause, nice opening. Things look a little bit more bleak in that regard, as Just Cause does survive with only 7 points of health, so not exactly the strongest figure right now for ZIGMA, but certainly he's done the initial job for the ZIGMA side, as now Bren looking to try and attack towards this B site, but ZIGMA, they're reading this one pretty well. They've got 3 players in that location, Reality, Overdose, and the low HP on Just Cause. They're going to push forward with it. No smoke to actually cover the push down past Gray Train. They're going to use that themselves as they go forwards, and it's going to work out for a couple quick kills. Overdose is the only player on the site that actually is able to find anything, as Bren, they'll completely wipe the floor this round. Only Niffy remains. And just a deagle for him. Makes things ever so difficult. Should just be Bren cleaning things up. Niffy, I'm not even sure if he's going to try and push in to pick up a weapon here. And they won't have anything for the next round, so if he can salvage something, that would be lovely. But with Wits watching that angle, the chance to do so is slim. Okay, he finds a kill on the Deagle. Micro will take his head off in return. But it is Bren with a second on the board.
Yeah, ZIGMA were a little bit limited going into that round. They decided to obviously force up into it. Wasn't the cleanest force buy, as you saw there, Niffy just with the Desert Eagle. Gave Bren Esports the upper hand in the round, but more than that, Bren Esports, they took control of the round themselves. Now, as you can see, ZIGMA, they aren't going to be very limited for this one. Just an eco, honestly. They haven't really invested anything. Should be a clean round here for Bren Esports. At least that's what we are expecting. Well, we've seen ZIGMA before, even on mostly an eco. I think they were actually... Nah, never mind. They had P250s in that. I was thinking about that round over on Nuke, where they were mostly on an eco, and they still managed to secure the victory in it.
Yeah.
This time around...
Yeah. Mentioned P250, and he's been able to secure one, hasn't he?
Exactly. Does manage to find a nice little frag of his own. Pick up an AK. Oof, another kill, okay.
Careful. Things can get out of hand here.
Hello?
Why is he going up the ladder? Oh, this is not fun. And now Pro is Molotov Pop Dog, but that means he's not going to be able to get towards the bomb. was Niffy's trying to pull more players. A 4th kill comes through.
Okay, he doesn't have a kit, so he realizes that he has to fall back, but... Bren, stop it, please.
Niffy's able to find 4 kills off the back of a P250 and no armor. Bren just...
I'm sorry, but... Like, it's good shooting from Niffy. I'm not gonna take that away from him, but... That was horrible from Bren eSports. Horrible. So they lose the first player. That's not that big of a deal. Second player, not that big of a deal either, because Niffy actually had a really nice shot with the AK on that thick. Yeah. But the third player, there's no reason why you're pushing up the ladder with an AWP. Even if you get the sound cue and it sounds like your opponent is running away, why are you sneaking up the ladder with an AWP? Let one of your AK guys do that. And if you're doing that, at the very least, like go for like a peek up the ladder and then jump down or something, right? That was just very poor play from Bren eSports. Only one player surviving in a round where your opponent's on an eco, that's despicable.
And it's also a 5v1. Really
yeah, that's so bad.
Yeah, it's almost turned into one of those deodorant adverts. All of the Bren eSports players just flinging themselves at Niffy after he sprays himself. The Niffy effect. Oh, I mean, Bren, at least for them, they have enough cash for the rebuy. So in this one, with 50 seconds on the clock remaining, they do have obviously full weapons and pretty decent utility. ZIGMA they've bought up as well, and with Niffy on that AK, certainly helps out the buy a little bit. But they need to be careful, Bren, because that was their round where they should have been building up quite a bit of cash in reserve. And now they don't really have much. Witz is the only one who has anything really to say about that with 4K. As Bren, they're going to try pushing towards, say, Saint Papachulo. That's a nice opening. If Bren can maybe make up for the misgivings in the previous round, maybe we can forgive them a little bit as they look to find 4. Witz has just got a bit of a shooting gallery. Will eventually meet his match in reality. It's a 2v4 now. But Brent should have this one locked down, and please don't give too many more frags away here. Not again. I can't deal with it for a second time.
You know, I'll be the negative Nancy since you don't want to. I can't let that one slip. Bren eSports giving him 4 kills. No. I don't care how well they do in this round or the rest of the game. That's not just a blunder. That's no joke unacceptable. The only way that's okay is if they're like so confident in this game that they think that they can run past ZIGMA no matter how many survive in all of these rounds. That's the only way that's acceptable. But seeing how Nuke went, I don't think that's the case. So, and seeing that ZIGMA, they're not a bad team. I pointed it out earlier. They've actually had really good results in their region. So, there's no reason for Bren eSports to be playing this carelessly.
Bren have at least been able to tie it up 4-4. Witz needs to be careful because he's only on a, well, I say only on an AWP, but close range against a pistol. That could be a bit of a hamper to him as he does get a bit of support, does back out of that position as his teammates are pushed in towards the B site. It's a bit of a weird positioning because Overdose is still up towards Heaven and hasn't actually been spotted out yet, I don't believe. So he could find a kill here. He will. Takes a few bullets, but he takes the head off Pro. Luckily, Witz is posted up with the AWP watching the repeak and will nail a shot, leaving just Rolex and Reality. Try and fend, or try and find something, but all Reality will find is a pretty shallow grave as Derek will take his head off. We'll follow it up onto Rolex. And Bren, they do take the lead. That is 5 in a row for them now. So, I mean, they're picking up rounds.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on them, but so that play that we saw in just a couple of rounds ago, I just want to touch on it for the very last time. I promise you guys. Well, unless we see something similar later on, but what we saw in that round is acceptable if you're 10-1, 10-2, or something like that, right? It's fine. If you have a ton of money built up and you just want to have a bit of fun and you want to chase someone down, sure. I can go for that if you're leading massively. When you're still behind, heck no. When it's this close, absolutely not. When Nuke was so close, no way. Like, at least make sure that you have a strong lead on the T side before doing that stuff, especially seeing as this is a CT side of the map. That being said, that round there that we just saw from Derek was brilliant. He gets the double opener, and he gets the double closer as well down towards the B-bomb side. So, good stuff on Derek. And honestly, Bren Esports, they are looking sharp in this game. Sure, they might have had like a brain DDoS for a hot moment there, but they're still like in full control of this game, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm just glad we found out what really drives you mad in CS:GO.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like strategic plays, right? And when I see something that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, like I lose it. I'm sorry. It grinds my gears. I can't deal with it.
Well, with only 20 seconds left of this round, it's probably best we start talking about the action, because it's about to begin with Reality. Posting the first kill, he's towards the back lanes of the B site, and he's taking down Micro as the push comes in towards that B site. But that was the bomb. That's the bomb dropped in a bit of an awkward position that they're going to have to recover. They need to get it planted. Only 5 seconds on the clock. They are doing so, but the kill's being traded out. It's Bren who will get themselves into a 3-on-2. They get the kills in their favor. Wits with a quick double for himself. But a player pushing forward. Rolex, he almost gets to 2k there. Papi Chulo, low on HP. Niffy will be able to take him down and bring it into a 1v1 though, and now it's just Wits. But he has a Molotov, maybe a little bit too early there. Didn't even hear the tap of the bomb. Couldn't think of the words there. Doesn't matter though, because he's going to no-scope Niffy either way. He just wanted to style points as he gets himself a triple kill in the round. Bren on to 6.
Sixth on the board here for Bren Esports. 6 in a row as well, as you pointed out. Great on them to find a good amount of rounds in a row here, and you can see the fruit of that already, as Wits and Derek already a good amount of money behind them. Pro with a good amount as well. Obviously Papi Chulo and Micro don't have a massive amount, but as you can see, they're still fighting back. Reality finding one quickly. See Just Cause getting shut down though.
Bren, let's see if they can keep players alive against these pistols. With only 2 deagles remaining for ZIGMA, shouldn't be too difficult. So, Reality Jesus, that's a nice shot. Catches thrown up in the other way, and in fact, Niffy's able to get one as well, and only 2 players surviving. Papi Chulo will close things down with a couple taps at the AK. But again, Bren, not many people staying alive in these rounds. They do have a lot of cash to fall back on at this point, but it's using up a lot of what they could be saving. Double AWPs now for ZIGMA. It's been Bren for most of this T half in control. Its aggression towards the A side, as well as a thick layer of smokes. Do carpet the approach towards that A site. Micro out towards Ivy. Gonna eat that nade. Like a bit of a delicious cake. Fortunately, this one explodes. You shouldn't be eating explosive cakes, that's for sure. Probably not the best birthday party. I'd choose to go to a non-exploding cake party, personally. That's Brent. Want to try and get themselves into this A site. They're still trying to probe for an opening, but they're taking a lot of damage through these smokes and just from the general spam of these ZIGMA players. You can see Wits, Micro, Papi Chulo have all taken quite considerable damage. I mean, obviously, against these M4s, at this point, you are susceptible to the one-shot headshot, which sort of eliminates the advantage that the AKs sort of inherently have, and with Papachulo being taken down, and with Micro going down towards Ivy, it leaves just 3 alive for the Bren side as they start to push in towards the B side. Just Cause is going to be able to find another 2 as well, as it's only Wits alone, and a 1 versus 4, and really needs to have his wits about him if he wants to pick up this round with 20 seconds on the clock and 4 players to find Reality watching the cross, but misses the shot. That gives Wits a chance for the bomb plant, but as he plants the bomb, they're able to push a lot closer, and Reality Jesus will secure the kill. I realise I was saying Reality Jesus. I know his name is just Reality, but some truly biblical plays coming out from him here.
You brought it home in the end, so I'll give you that one. Yeah, you're right. At least they're giving him an opportunity, well, not necessarily giving him the opportunity to plant, but missing that shot gave him the opportunity to go for the bomb plant, and at the very least for Bren Esports, they get a bit of extra cash out of the round by getting the bomb planted. We see the result of that. They have a lot of utility in this round, and obviously a full buy for them once again. But already a very solid T side here for Bren Esports. Pointed it out earlier, it is a CT sided map, excuse me. Due to that, obviously, if you can get 7 rounds on the T side, that's totally fine. Any more than that is basically icing on the cake. I would say typically this is like a 9-6 sort of deal here on train. At least if you have 2 teams who are fairly comfortable on the map, right? Obviously, there's always that you gotta take into consideration who's better on the map. And statistically speaking, it is Bren Esports. It's a map that they play quite often. What we gotta keep in mind is that we don't have a ton of stats over on HSV for ZIGMA. But we do have quite a bit for Bren Esports.
Yeah. What I can tell you about Overdose, though, he's decent on an AWP, but he finds a quick double, puts Micro out of the air on his second time of asking. He's going to keep on going. As a third comes in, can he find a 4th? Yes, he can. He's only got 12 points of health, but this don't matter to him. As he gets 4 kills, shuts down that hit towards the A site, and, well, I mean, I said Reality was biblical last round. Overdose has certainly been on his meds.
Oh no.
Oh, you can't stop me. You can't stop me.
that early, like, what's going on? Who fed you coins this morning, man?
Who, sorry?
Who fed you coins? You're like one of those slot machines or something. You're on one.
Yeah, there's not many places you'd be able to put a 50 pence in me.
Regardless. Great stuff there from Overdose in that previous round. Gonna try and see if he can do something similar in this one. Chunk of damage early on. Deals even more himself, and it's Rolex. One nice little double. Micro answers back, takes care of Overdose. Probably gonna try and go for a repeat. A bit of damage onto Rolex as well. Rolex has already found a double, make that triple now. And a quad. Now got to be looking for the ace. Final play out towards up close and personal. There you have it. Rolex, nice little ace for the round. Is that the first ace? Yeah, I think it is. That's the first ace.
I believe so.
They were close on Nuke. We had I think we had 3 quad kills, if I'm not completely mistaken, on Nuke. 2 for sure. I'm pretty sure we had 3 as well, but not decided. But yeah, no aces thus far, and now we get to see one. So ZIGMA fighting back, tying it up at 7. And honestly, at this point, if ZIGMA can manage to bring it back and climb the 8th as well, that would be fantastic.
I mean, I said last round, Overdose has been on his meds. This time, Rolex certainly wasn't going to let them into that A site on his watch.
I hate you.
I can't even deal with myself right now.
Did you become a dad overnight? What happened?
I don't know. It's just one of those days, isn't it? As, I mean, Just Cause has got a bit of work to do here. You can only manage the first. I think it was 2 for 2 initially. Overdose is quite low on HP, though, with that AWP. A lot of P's. But, they'll be hoping for the W here as they try and push their way forward. Rolex taking a lot of damage as they try and get themselves closer. Derek will get the first. Rolex nice trade, and they're actually finding the kills, but it's a 1v1 Pro against Rolex. 12 HP only for the man with a watch, as it's Pro going to be working his way from the heavens. Time running thin. He doesn't have a smoke. He has the kit, but there's just no time left. It should be Bren finding an 8th, and Pro knows that. You'll hear the drop. Rolex, it's over. It's going to be 8-7 for Bren as they snatch away that last round of the half.
Yeah, I was just about to say as well. I mean, obviously he had to go for it. It was the last round of the half, but I'm not entirely... I don't think he... Well, maybe I'm putting too much into this one, but it looked like he wasn't entirely sure that it was the last half, because even at the very last seconds of it, he was still running away from the bomb for some weird reason. There's no reason for that, mate. Like, he was going to die to the bomb regardless, and even if he didn't, it was the last round of the half, so it didn't really matter. Bren Esports, though, picking up their 8th. Nice little comeback there from ZIGMA. You managed to bring it back at least somewhat and make this quite a close first half for them. 8-7. Bren Esports with 8 on their T side, though, and that's not a bad beat at all.
Yeah, pretty damn good, despite the awful jokes coming from just, you know, one side of the camp here.
Yeah, I'm face palming, mate. Like, I've given up at this point.
Well, ZIGMA certainly haven't given up. They're still in this one. I mean, they're down around going into the second half, but it's the harder half generally on train, so Bren might just have a chance to shut this one down pretty quickly here on the CT side. As it's going to be a CZ for Micro. Don't often see them. See if he's able to find lots of kills with it. He was close towards the B ramp initially. Witz is the one with a kit. And for ZIGMA, they've got a P250 on Reality, so he'll be hoping to take some long-range duels. He's also got armor. He was dropped over that P250 by his teammate. And I've got a little bit of utility to go along with it. A couple smokes, a Molotov, and a flashbang across the two players, Overdose and Just Cause. But with ZIGMA backtracking now, they're going to be heading their way over towards that B site. Pro going to be taking a lot of contact here. Spots out a couple players. We'll just back away and we'll call that out to his teammates as Papichulo rotates in from connector. ZIGMA not going to go straight off the back after spotting out the contact. They're actually going to set up their nades. They're going to try and actually execute in towards it, but Papichulo will take down the last player exiting the ramp, and that's actually the bomb, so it slows things down a little bit. But with Niffy trading, they're able to get their way in, but there goes the bomb again. Wits and Pro, they're finding kills. Rolex pushing aggressive, though. Has been able to deal with Wits, but drops into the wall to crosshairs of Pro. And that leaves it all up towards Just Cause. And with Micro coming in from the back lines, that CZ makes its presence known. It will be Bren pushing their way onto 9.
Very important pistol here for Bren if they want to keep control of this game. They do manage to pick it up, and that should help them out getting maintaining control of this game, as it was looking a little bit dicey towards the later stages of that first half, with ZIGMA trying to bring it back. ZIGMA, they're on a bit of a task now, especially in this round. They don't really have a whole lot to work with, as you can see. It's not going to be easy for them to get much done in a round like this with just the locks. I say that, and Overdose actually finds one onto Derek.
Always the way. He's going to be able to find another one as well. Reality. We'll catch Micro. Luckily, though, for the Bren side, it is 1-for-1s, and that Molotov actually goes a bit too deep. Won't deny the plant at all, or even do any damage towards these ZIGMA players. As every kill that's Bren find, it's going to get matched. But now Nifu and Reality, they'll actually bring it into the advantage for ZIGMA. There's a lot of damage being done. Papichulo, 10-second defuse. He's going to try and hold it, but now he has to swing wide and can only find the first onto Niffy. Reality 3 kills in the round off the back of Glocks. You want to take this one away, Jeet?
Someone take me away, please. Like, that's ridiculous. ZIGMA, it's not the first time they do it either, but with just Glocks and just their default pistols, it is the first time. And it's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. Like, I'm not sure what I'm watching here, but it doesn't seem like it's Counter-Strike any longer. ZIGMA, they've done it a couple of times already with very limited buys, and this time around, they're doing it on just default pistols. Without any utility, just pure aim and nothing else. And speaking of which, Overdose and Rolex hitting some great shots here onto Vitz and Derek. See, this is one of the reasons. I'll mention it one more time. Why not?
Go on.
Just for the heck of it. This is one of the reasons why Bren should never do what they did in the first half. So, sure, they still managed to come out on top for the first half, and that's nice. But they weren't like entirely sure how they were gonna fare up against ZIGMA here on train. So to go for a play like that is just kind of strange. And we see now that ZIGMA, they're not a bad team. Like I've said the entire way through, they know how to play Counter-Strike. And they certainly show in a round with just Glocks. I mean, Steel would have been proud of them, that's for sure.
Oh dear. Bren have been able to at least pick up 1 kill in all of this. And for the ZIGMA side, they're in a 4-on-2. The bomb's ticking its way down. It is just Pro actually now alive as his teammate falls, but he's going to keep finding a little bit of damage with that AK. Oh, that spots him out, can't find the shots, and Pro, yes, another. They're trying to chase him down, but Pro will stay alive and takes down a few players with him. Not bad, not bad, as the score gets tied up 9-9.
Not bad at all. Like, obviously, in a situation like that, it's a bit unfortunate here for Bren Esports that they were actually on a force buy for the most part. So that means that even though they managed to deal a bit of economic damage in that round, they're not really going to be able to use it for anything. Because they're going to be on an eco of their own at this point. And ZIGMA, they'll still have a good amount of money left over, so reinvestment is not going to be an issue. Very gnarly shot. Rolex answers back with one onto Micro.
Yeah, with this AK out for Bren, there is a chance to do damage here as well, though, as they've already found a kill. And Pro, he's pushed super aggressive with that AK. He's in the backlines and he's found reality. And that is going to be another weapon to be recovered by the Bren side. Derek, actually, quite a few weapons now for Bren, as they found 2 kills. There's an extra 2 AKs. Witz is being shot at and somehow managed to avoid the first set of bullets, but it gets traded into a 3-on-3 eventually, as now it's these 3 AKs, 2 of them without armor. Do they go for more damage here? Pro obviously has Kevlar looking perhaps for a shot or 2. Niffy turns his back and Pro's going to be able to find the first and a second. He's going absolutely mental. But eventually, Just Cause will finally remove him from the server. A 1v2. Bren have the time to even go for this one. No kit. Looks like they're just going to try and hold on to the AKs, because they were trying to save initially. They only really thought about going for it after Pro found those 2 quick kills on the AKs, so they weren't really in position to try and capitalize on it. And I mean, not the end of the world. They'll carry 2 AKs into the next round. Brennan's done a lot of economic damage towards ZIGMA, but maybe feeling like the potential of a round actually slips away from them there.
Yeah. This game has been interesting. Let's put it like that. Like, we saw some crazy plays on you from multiple individual players. We saw some rounds that shouldn't have been won, but they ended up winning. We're seeing the same here on Train, and we see Pro just holding down mouse 1 as they drop quickly down towards Pop Dog. He finds 2. Low on HP, but it doesn't matter all that much. He still finds the frags, and that's going to help Bren out massively as they push forward in this round.
What is that now, like 7 kills in 2 rounds in 3 rounds for Pro? Something like that. As in reality, we'll be able to find 1 back in return. Taking down Derek towards Ivy and given an access point for ZIGMA. However, reality will just back away, doesn't want to overstep the mark and get caught out and extend that back out to a 2-man disadvantage. So we'll just try and swing around, rejoin with his teammates, and it looks like they'll try and hit towards this A site with a player in Top Dog, a player in main, and Reality just outside of main. And only 45 seconds on the clock. They'll need to start moving shortly, but, well, that's not the way Just Cause really should have been moving as he moves into Pro's crosshair. That nade might be able to finish him off, but it goes deep. And Pro will stay alive for a little bit longer. Overdose, however, will make sure it's not only briefly, only a couple of extra seconds as Reality pushes forward to provide support. And they've brought it into a 2-on-2, 25 seconds on the clock, but Micro is there for the shot on towards Overdose. Now it's just Reality, a 1 versus 2. Papachula might be able to find the shots, gets a lot of damage through, and on the repeat, closes it down, will recover the AWP. Bren, they'll find a 10th as they tie the game up 10-10. Nice double digits all round.
Tied up once again. Once again, a close matchup here on Train. At this point, honestly, like we said it going into this one, we said it going into the to the best of 3. Bren esports were the favorites going into this one. They should be able to take a victory, whether it was 2-1 or 2-0 was like up in the air. But with Bren picking up Nuke, we expected them to take a fairly quick 2-0 here with a victory on Train, but ZIGMA, they're fighting back with all this. God, the spray down coming through from Micro, though. Brilliant stuff.
I hate you as well.
That's amazing from Micro. Brilliant little spray down there. Nice triple. That makes it not just difficult, but very close to impossible here for Reality and Rolex.
Yeah, there's no way. ZIGMA pull themselves out of this hole. I mean, Reality is down in half HP as well with just a Mac 10. Wits has a bit of issue getting up the ladder. Second time of asking, he will make his way up. He will ascend. That allows him to get the pick onto Reality, who's jumping around trying to bait out the shots. However, he baits it out and they land it. Rolex a 1v5, but one shot found at least. Wits around the next corner. We'll find that as well. And Rolex! No, he can't be doing this. 3 quick kills found. It will be Micro to come in with the save and the 4th kill to close out the round. But Jesus, Rolex. An animal.
Wild, wild stuff coming through from Bren esports. We saw individuals stepping up on Nuke, and we see individuals stepping up here on Train in that round. Micro, the key individual. ZIGMA in a bit of a pickle at this point, of course. I'm loving this nade. It's something that we see time and time again. The problem with that nade is it's very limited as to when you'll actually hit someone with it and deal some damage, because it lands. It sort of gets blocked by the installation shaft. No one can block Papichulo for this round, though. Beautiful quad kill, just holding his ground and not taking any damage. No one actually had focus on him. He had pretty good control of the round entirely. But as I pointed out, with that nade, it's an interesting one, but it barely actually, like, it rarely works, is what I'm trying to say, because there is that ventilation shaft right at the ceiling over in above Pop Dog, and it typically lands very close to that. Ooh, that's a nice shot. Typically lands very close to that, so that the ventilation shaft actually blocks most of the damage from it.
For this round, ZIGMA has 2 opening kills coming through. Overdose catches out Derek towards Ivy, and with kill found as well onto Wits. Over towards that B site. It was a timing shot off the AWP Reality as he gets blinded up by the flashbang. And, well, ZIGMA, they have a chance for 11 here to try and keep themselves at within arm's reach of Bren. With Pro pushed in towards main, a little bit of control given over towards a Bren side, but with ZIGMA heading what looks to be over towards a B site, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Micro to try and deliver once again. He had that 6 spray down in the round prior, finished it off with the final kill. Letting himself 4 in total. Can he do more of the same here? We'll probably need, well, definitely needs multi-kills here, but does actually have Papachulo to provide a bit of support. And Micro, he's on top of the site, like the very top. Might catch out some of these ZIGMA players. He does get the first and a second. There's multi-kills. Papachulo with another, but they'll both get taken down. It leaves Bren in a 1v2 pro, all on his lonesome. He's actually going to be flanking around through the pop dog. And will ZIGMA consider this? Because, well, Rolex has pushed his way through CT spawn, so they know he's not over there. And the bomb is actually going to get planted on the CT side of the site. So they have read this one perfectly, ZIGMA. But they're not going to play it perfectly, as Pro's able to quickly take down Reality, looking the wrong way. Smoke fades, and Rolex now left in the 1v1. And Pro, well, there's no stopping him. I said they've read it well. But it's Pro who plays it so well as he takes down the both of them. Will get the defuse and will deny ZIGMA an 11th, despite them having themselves in a 5-on-3 against Bren. Huge round to pick up for the CT side.
Yeah, absolutely. It pushes them to 13, just 3 rounds away from shutting this one down in a 2-0 fashion. Before we get any closer to that, I just want to remind you guys that we do have more games coming your way. Right after this one, we got Wings Up versus Lin Vision as the final game here for this Asian Open qualifier for IEM Beijing-Haidian. More games. Well, one more best of 3 coming up after this one. I believe it's set to start in roughly an hour, and I think we're gonna stick to that time, even if this one ends early. Yeah, I'll just get confirmation of that with the admins, but 13 here for Bren Esports, pushing a victory with a 2-0 fashion. ZIGMA in a world of hurt, especially considering that, again, they're going to be on a limited buy, but that hasn't really deterred them in the previous rounds.
However, they may need to rethink as they take a lot of damage early on. Just Cause actually finds the opening kill with that Deagle. Weapon shifted around into Nifu's hands, and they're actually going to be able to get themselves towards that A site, and potentially a bomb plant to come through here as well, as Reality on the Tech 9 is just going off. He finds himself another couple, and it's only Micro who's left at 1 versus 4, and ZIGMA just on the back of pistols are going to find themselves an 11th. Didn't work out in the last round with full guns. This time it's just whole W towards A that works out. Got themselves 2 M4s and AWP. I'm sure there's a gun somewhere for Just Cause as well to pick up. Micro's just going to have to hold on towards this M4. And as you said about the qualifiers, this is obviously for a spot in the closed qualifier for IEM Beijing-Haidian. So one of these two teams are going to be picking up one of those spots, and out of a best of 3 the day is going to be the second spot up for grabs. But lots to play for, and you can tell it means a lot to both of these teams. A lot of huge plays coming out, a lot of great individual performances, as well as sort of the overall team dynamics. But a round that Bren probably didn't want to let slip there.
Yeah, again, ZIGMA, they're so strong on these limited buys. This here from Micro, he was obviously wanting a little bit more there. Finds the first, quickly traded out. This time around, it's going to be Bren Esports who are limited. And we can see actually Derek forced up into this round. That means that he's going to be very limited for the next. This could still like be tied up at this point. Like, ZIGMA are nowhere near out of this game, and the main reason for that is them being absolute maniacs with their with their eco rounds. Like, it's ridiculous.
Certainly, and like obviously a breath of life that's come through the ZIGMA camp off the back of that previous round has completely turned this game on its head. It's looking like Bren were going to be 14-10 up, and ZIGMA would have to fight tooth and nail against the guns. However, now things looking a lot more favourable as they're just cleaning up this round. Overdose does spot out Pro just as he's about to throw the smoke. Gets his gun out in time, and there we go. 12 on the board for ZIGMA, and as you say, Derek, really no cash, neither for Micro. He bought up a little bit of extra weaponry around that, or a bit of extra utility around that M4. So they're going to have to take a bit of a partial here, buy down to around sort of 2.5k mark per player, allow ZIGMA to 13, and then go for the full buy in the next. I think that's what you really have to be doing here, because you can't go for the force buy in this one. That would just be throwing the game away.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They have to go for a bit of a limited buy here for any esports. But at that point, like, it gives ZIGMA such a good opportunity to time this one up. What I like to see here for Bren Esports, I would like to see them buy a bit of utility. I mean, it's obviously too late at this point. But if they bought a bit of utility and then went for like smokes towards the A bomb side and stack towards B, perhaps, I think that could have been interesting. Instead, they just go for a straight stack towards the A bomb side. Only one player initially over towards B. And he hasn't, like, he's going for a rotation back towards A any second at this point.
Yeah, ZIGMA, they're doing pretty well to clean this one up. Already 2 kills found for them, and pretty cleanly as well. So it is going to be Bren with just a Deagle, a P250, and a USP. As Pro steps into a couple of those little taps from Pro. That takes a little bit of damage, but the kill's still all stumbling through for ZIGMA. It's just the USP of Papajulo left. And as he sits inside of a smoke, hoping that maybe God's grace will wash over him and he can find a cheeky frag. As the smoke fades, he does find reality. That's as much as he could hope for in that situation. Catching a play with a bomb in hand. (13-13), all tied up. Now the question is, who won't be able to push this one over the edge? Who will be able to take the final steps towards picking up a victory here on this map? Will ZIGMA actually push it through to a third mapper? Or will Bren Esports to shut it down? It's not over yet, and I would love to see a third map in this. I certainly would as well. ZIGMA, they've played their hearts out so far this game. It's been great to watch. And obviously, I've had my fun with their names as well. A few rounds of mayhem. But it's certainly... I mean, obviously, they were all off the back of some sick individual plays from ZIGMA as well. Those pretty bad puns, but... Obviously now Bren with the full buy, double AWPs for them. Reality still has the AWP for ZIGMA. We'll see if Pro and Wits with these 2 AWPs for Bren can try and maybe get them an opening. Pro, he positioned himself towards the B site, hoping for a better angle to utilise. It'll drop a smoke towards a ramp, make sure that, well, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult for ZIGMA as they will attempt to push forward. They're setting up their smokes right now. They're obviously having to wait for the one from the Bren side to fade, which is just carving a bit of time off that clock. And now they do set up their own set of utility as they'll try and push forward in towards the B site. Micro's just going to burn down towards the back of the B site. Reality takes him down. They're actually going to try and rotate over towards Pop Dog, but Papachulo's still in that position, denies him access, and now 20 seconds on the clock, they're having to dive back towards B, and as the smoke fades, Pro and Wits, they can find a couple frags. It's all falling apart for ZIGMA. He should have just committed to B. And it is going to be 14 for Bren. Those AWPs will shut down the entire push. Huge plays from Bren, but what do you think of that play towards Pop Dog from ZIGMA?
I think you hit the head on the nail there. So go B, but maybe not. Like, it looked kind of weird, and they ended up pushing in one by one, allowing, like, if you're an AWP in that situation, sure, you can get a kill, maybe 2, then you should get taken down every single time. Because in a situation like that, the T's should be pushing in together. And if they do that, you're not going to be able to get many shots off before they eventually find you and shut you down. Ooh. It's not over yet, though.
Oh, you're definitely right, it's not over yet. in both the round and the game, as Micro is able to find himself a quick double, almost the triple, as Just Cause is just about able to get out of harm's way there and recover the bomb. As look at Overdose's position. He's going to clap the head of Wits and give an opening towards the A site, but Papachulo is still in position to try and find more. Can he find the shot? No, he can't. Overdose is going to give ZIGMA life still. Micro is now left in a 1 versus 3. Already 2 kills to his name. We'll pick up a third onto Overdose. And 2 more kills to find. He's a sole survivor for Bren. If he could pick this one up, it would be absolutely massive, as a few bullets risk by him. It will be Niffy, who though will close out the 14th for ZIGMA, and they stay alive. Explosive hits, a couple opening kills go ZIGMA's way, and they're able to capitalize on it.
Capitalizing once again and tied up once more. 14-14. Yeah, it's such a broken buy here for Bren Esports. This gives a massive opportunity for ZIGMA to actually push this one over the top and take that victory and pull this one into a third mapper. Like, I'm in shock. I'm in disbelief.
This T-side has looked super sick from ZIGMA. Let's just hope they don't drop the ball against pistols here, as Micro does find the first. Luckily, they've been able to deal with reality on the site. The scout from Derek might be able to find damage. No, it can't. Overdose quick with the 180 there as he hears the scope. Takes one down, and there's quite a bit of awkward positioning here for Bren that might catch out some of these ZIGMA players, but they're actually dealing with things pretty efficiently, and it's just that one kill that comes through as ZIGMA. They find map point. Bren, they took the eco in that round. They'll get a full buy this time. Try and force this to overtime.
Oh, Dan.
Yes.
I'm excited for this game, man. Like, this is... We spoke about this, like, before we went into the first map. We had a bit of a chat, and we both agreed that Bren Esports were quite clear favorites for this one and should be able to shut this one down. Since then, I did a bit of research in ZIGMA, found out that ZIGMA has actually done pretty well for themselves in the region. It's just not a team we know that well, because obviously for you and I, like, being Europeans, or well, you're not that much, but I guess you're still a European even though you're not in the EU. I mean,
yeah.
But regardless, us being from a different region, we typically get our information from Wikipedia and HLTV, right?
Yeah.
And with that, we just don't see ZIGMA all that often in this like in games in general. So it's real nice to see them do this well against Bren Esports. It's not what I expected, but I'm loving every moment of it.
And I'm going to ask you a question. With the opening kill going the way of Bren here, do they force it to overtime?
I'm certainly hoping.
Correct answer is now Derek around the edge of the smoke is going to be able to double himself up and stays alive. However, his teammate Papachulo isn't so lucky as the body collapses across the site of Derek, and he's going to get another one. He's just going ham towards main. He'll eventually get caught trying to switch out that MP9 for something a little bit better, but it's just Cause alone against Freen. He may just get caught by Pro here, and he will, and it is overtime, and it is an excellent way to finish off this second map potentially, as well. Whew. Anything can happen now.
This is fantastic, honestly. Great set of Counter-Strike already. And as pointed out, we do have another game coming up. Typically they do when it's like the last couple of games in a qualifier. So if that's gonna be starting at 1500, we might actually miss the start of that one if this goes to a third map.
Yeah, certainly.
Great game already, and obviously I would rather have this than the sickest, longest break we've ever seen, just to...
Mate, what about all the Pepe jams?
we'll get it at some time. Like, at one point or another, we'll get some Pepe jams. Don't worry.
Yeah, maybe a couple cat jams in there for the less educated of the chat. We are just waiting for our time to go live. Don't worry. This isn't live. People aren't respawning mid-round. Don't worry. And, Well, what are you expecting from this first few rounds? Because obviously it's MR3. I believe it's... Is it 16k? Or is it 10k? I believe it's 16k. Yeah. So for Bren, obviously we'll want to try... Well, both of these teams will be wanting to try and get 2 rounds in this first half. That would set them up very nicely into the second half, if not just for getting the secure second overtime with only 1 round needed. But I think for Bren, this is where things are going to get a little bit awkward for them, I think, because once you get into overtime, things start getting more and more chaotic, and I think ZIGMA are going to be the ones who will really thrive in that, because they've got some exceptional aimers, they've got some great sort of individual players that are probably going to be able to thrive in those situations. So for Brent, I mean, they've got it to overtime, but can they find the rounds needed in overtime, is the question.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about this one is that ZIGMA has had so much success in their low buy rounds, in their force buys, and in their ecos actually. So it's where they've seen the most of their success. Let's put it like that. Obviously, they've also seen success in their full buy rounds. Obviously, that's the case. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had 15 on the board, right? So
yeah.
But it's going to be interesting here because we've got to see both teams with all the money in the world. They can go for as many ops as they wish to. Obviously, probably maximum of 3 on the CT side. We do see 3 every once in a while, but we're probably not going to see it here. 2 is definitely a possibility, but I don't know, man. I'm still leaning towards Bren. Bren should be favored for this one. Should be able to close it out eventually. With that being said, though, ZIGMA, they've surprised me positively. Like they've played good Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I mean, not many faults. They had, I mean, the CT half for them was a little bit rough. Bren picked up quite a lot of rounds there on the T half, but ZIGMA were able to answer back themselves, so it doesn't really matter in that regard. It's both teams having a pretty strong T half, so we do just wait. But I'm excited to see what this OT will bring. Obviously, I think the players just taking this time just to get themselves ready. Look, they have just played a full 30 rounds of Counter-Strike. I can imagine some bladders may be full.
That certainly could be the case. We're just allowing them to yeah, as you said, you know, if they need to empty the bladder, if they need to get a glass of water or whatever, we're just allowing them a bit of time here to figure things out. It seems like we might have them going live in just a few moments. Still see a couple of players AFK and spawn on the ZIGMA side of it. So hopefully they won't be taking their time for this one. I just want to get this one started because
yeah, me too.
Regulation was so exciting, man.
Yeah, it definitely was, and I'm excited too. I wonder if I can sneak any more really bad jokes before the game is done. We'll have to see what comes of that. As I mean, I think I've exhausted most of my options for this game. I'm looking through the players. Not really anybody. I'm looking at where there's a pun I can do which I haven't already rinsed. So I think they're safe for now, as we do get ourselves into OT. It looks like it is MR3 16k. So no issues with cash for this one. They can buy to their heart's content, get everything they need, and you can see Bren going straight in with a double ops. So Pro and Wits will be wielding both of them as Bren do continue on the defensive side, the CT side, while ZIGMA will try their hand at the offense once more. Excuse me. Have a bit of air go into my body in a weird way. As Wits hasn't bought armor. Interesting strat.
I wouldn't call that a strat. I would call
it.
Did he?
I'd call it a misbuy. You know. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but there really is no reason to not buy armor. Derek is, well, in a difficult position now to drop a smoke at his feet to keep himself alive as the Molotov comes in. Still a 5-on-5. Well, at what point does Witz realise he hasn't bought armor? Probably when he dies, right? As they push in towards the B site, ZIGMA, they've been able to get them way down the grey lane. And actually, Micro and Pro, they're able to pick off a couple kills initially. Micro, though, he's going to get taken down. And Pro, he kills his teammate with a Molotov. How's that happened?
This is why you get armor.
And now...
he would have died regardless.
ZIGMA, they've got themselves a 3-on-2 to try and pick up the first round of this OT, as it's Derek and Papachulo who need to try and get themselves in, but make it just Papachulo as it's a 1 versus 3. We'll get the first. We've seen some sick clutches already. Is this going to be another one for the books? It's not planted where Papachulo expects, I don't think, because now I think he realises, okay, well, this is over. Time to just back out a bit. Not even going to be able to do that as Rolex will secure his 4th of the round. 4 kills for ZIGMA in the round, yet everybody on Bren dies.
Yeah, it's so, like... I'm tired, man. I'm tired of watching. Like, it shouldn't happen. I've said this many times, like, if any of you guys watching have heard me cast Counter-Strike before, you know that I hate when we see someone accidentally knife their teammate. It shouldn't happen in pro play, even in semi-pro play. This is another situation like that. Vitz should not, you know,
aggressive.
He should always have armor, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. It's stuff like that that just shouldn't happen in a game of Counter-Strike. When you're a semi-professional or even professional team.
Yeah, just thinking Witz in a very aggressive position there with the AWP. And will get actually caught out as he's not able to land the initial shot. Now he's a spectator for this one. As Bren are hoping to try and find 16 here to tie the score once again and deny ZIGMA 2 rounds so quickly in overtime. Things are definitely not looking rosy for them. It looks like it's going to be a crunch in towards this A site. Few players working through either. Nobody actually watching that position as Papachulo towards main will secure the kill onto Overdose, and that evens things up into a 4-on-4 and secures control of that avenue in. Look at the ZIGMA side. They're pushing forwards, and there's actually nobody spotting this out from the Bren side, so they're going to get caught unawares towards this A side. I think maybe Pro will have been hearing all those steps down Old Bomb, but Derek can't do anything to stop them. As a quick shot coming through, Pappy's still trying to do more damage, and there's a nice shot onto Rolex. Back into a 3-on-3, back into even situations, and Pappy takes a little bit more damage. Micro's trying to find shots, and how's he been able to take down Niffy there? He should be dead. A 2v2, but look at the HP for Pappy and Pro. There's almost none of it, and Pro's going to get caught blinded, caught out, and Pappy still finding shots free from in the round. Can't find the 4th. There's Just Cause. We'll finally put an end to that one, but Bren, they had a chance. Pappy would just kept them in the game time and time again. Micro a huge shot as well towards heaven. But it is Bren who fall once more in overtime, and it's ZIGMA to 17.
Such a chaotic round, though. Like, Bren, they lose a player so early on. Once again, it's Vitz who goes down over towards that Ivy position. And then they just forget about it. They just decide, you know what? We don't care about Ivy any longer. And for some weird reason, they didn't care too much about the A-bomb side at all, it seemed. Papichulo took good care of it. And as you pointed out, managed to bring them back into the round multiple times. But yeah. Kind of a weird scenario there.
Yeah, because obviously I think it was Pro who was sort of on the B side of Connector. Should have heard those steps over towards Old Bomb as ZIGMA pushed forward. And I think he did, and I think he may have called it out, because Derek was watching it but just couldn't land the initial shot and just got sort of caught out initially. I think maybe not expecting the players to be round that corner so quickly and maybe not in the number that they were. As Bren, this isn't looking too good because there's a possibility they fall 3-0 in this first half of OT. That's not going to be fun. That's not going to be fun at all on the CT side. That's going to put a lot of stress on the T side for themselves, and they've got no mistakes to make. They'll have to 3-0 their own half, but we'll see if they can at least maybe pick up one here as they push forward in towards the A side. ZIGMA, an opening kill goes their way, but look at the damage being done, and Papachulo again is going so above and beyond for the Brent side. A third through the smoke. He's just absolutely clapped them. And it's just Niffy and Rolex, and looked like they maybe wanted to go for the boost. Pappy will eventually get taken down with only 10 seconds on the clock. Yeah, as you say, 10 seconds. It's only Niffy and Papachulo take a bow because he has just gone above and beyond for the Bren esports side there. And, well, Bren, they are this time able to close out the round. 16 on the board, as we'll have a little bit of a break before the second half of OT goes live.
It's absolutely ridiculous here for Papachulo. I pointed out that we had some players, some individuals stepping up on Nuke. That was actually Papachulo as well, for the most part. And he's continuing that form. Like, he's just hitting shots that you shouldn't be hitting. He gets the information, of course, from his teammates. They let him know. They let him know that ZIGMA are pushing in towards T connector. He realizes it, and he just holds down mouse 1, giving him a brilliant opportunity to spray down multiple targets, and that's exactly what he does. I don't know, man. I'm stunned. Like, Papachulo is he's just a beast.
Yeah, he's found some sort of extra level on his settings for this game, or for this overtime, as now ZIGMA, they take their turn at the defense, and Bren around behind will need to try and pick up a couple here to try and force a second OT at the least. Tell you what, I could do with something to eat right now, but this game is so enticing in and of itself. My cravings are being catered for the time being.
Yeah, this is more than enough nutrition for me. This is brilliant. I'm loving every moment of it. It's so sweet at the same time as being a little bit sour, perhaps.
Yeah. Like a stir fry, sweet and sour stir fry. Well, a different type of sour, I guess. I always got confused about why it was like sweet and sour, because I get the sweet part, but I never really associated like a stir fry or anything with or anything with like being sour. And Pro probably going to be a little bit sour after that kill, as he's been taken down by Rolex, completely blinded up by the teammate, and Overdose almost dies in the Molotov by the look of things. As ZIGMA, they're just finding all the kills. This could be over before it's really begun on the CT side for them, as it's just Wit, so 1 versus 5. His body sticks out on reality. Will finish him off. 18 for ZIGMA. It's going to take 2 now from Bren to force a second OT, and ZIGMA might just be forcing us to a third map here.
Yeah, ZIGMA just 1 round away from shutting this one down on the map choice of Bren esports. Like, this is not at all what we expected going into this one, because, well, again, I have to preface this by saying that ZIGMA are doing really well in their region, but they don't necessarily have a lot of games featured on HLTV. And due to that, we don't necessarily see, like, a whole lot of statistics for ZIGMA. But with the stats that we have, it certainly looks like Bren esports should be fairly clear favorites for the match entirely. And I would say, even knowing that ZIGMA are doing well in their region, Bren should still be the favorites in this one. But yeah, ZIGMA are playing phenomenal Counter-Strike here. And we have seen quite a few mistakes coming through from Bren esports. That's certainly not going to help them when they're already up against a team who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and Overdose might just give them an opening here as well. He was ready for that. That's the opening kill going the way of ZIGMA, as they currently sit on map point here. Not quite match point, as they did lose their pick of Nuke to Bren. Bren currently leading the series 1-0. Overdose, he gets that opening kill. Does get tagged down to 8 by the rifle as they go for the double peek, but it doesn't really matter to him because, I mean, with the AWP, he can still hit shots and has already done his job by finding that opening and staying alive. So 4 AKs now for Bren to try and open up around. Just under a minute on the clock. It looks like it's going to be B as their point of contact. That's their final decision for this round. As the timer just ticks its way, tick by tick. Just goes towards the back of the B site. Going to deploy a Molotov, and that's going to put a bit of a wrench in things for Bren. It's going to kill a bit of the time off the clock. However, Bren not actually used their utility as of yet. They're still setting themselves up for the nades. There's still only one player towards this B side. As the nades do start to come through, the rotation will follow from ZIGMA. There's 2 people going to work their way through connector. PP Overdose can't take that peek with that Molotov down. He has to fall away, and Bren are going to be able to get the bomb planted here. 15 seconds on the clock to do so. So they now have a chance to actually set themselves up pretty okay for this post plant as a nice shot comes through from Pro. Takes down Just Cause, but a trade from Overdose keeps the Sigma side in the advantage. And now, Bren, they need to just find these kills, keep themselves alive, and try and delay the advance, and that is a beautiful peek from Pro, but he can't find the follow-up shot, and he misses it all, and it's going to be ZIGMA 19 on the board as they'll get the defuse through. A nice retake in the end, and Brent will fall on their map pick, and it will be ZIGMA taking us to a third.
Bit of an awkward situation there for Bren Esports at the last stages of that round. ZIGMA, as you pointed out, they managed to pull it through. Not at all what I expected. They have a 0% win rate on HCV on this map, where Bren has a 53% on 15 times played. So a map that they play quite a bit.